All right, I'm going to go out with a common set. These are the common cards make great practice clubs because they're very utility. You can do lots of stuff with them. There's backspin, topspin, curl. All of the common cards in that range have multiple abilities. So when you're out practicing holes, when you first go into a tour, they're not bad clubs to have. All right, let's go check out Tour 6. See what we can get done with a QB. I'm going to try and stick exclusively with this common bag. And on those holes that I'm SOL, we'll see how we can scramble to get up there. Or if we can scramble. We can definitely scramble on this hole. What's funny is that this was just in the tournament. And this is exactly how I should have played it. Just hitting it out there. No fuss, no muss, no risk. That'll put me in my wood range. And I'm going to do a rough bump. I kind of like this hole better the other way because when they changed that area there for the rough bump, the green's got a slope to it now, and it used to be a lot flatter. So if you got up there and you were doing a rough bump, there was very few moguls or any kind of indentation in the green. I think my opponent's in the rough. This is a great spot for a machete. See if I can get up there with my sniper. There's Max Club. Wind's blowing that way, so I'm going to come off the cup, right on the edge of the cup there. 1.8. 1.8 rings. Try and get the eagle. Hitting it perfect. Gave myself a look at it. Getting a hole. Same results as in the tournament. Right off the cup. It's funny when you play those tournament holes. The deal is everybody looks at every hole and it's like you got to get every hole. You got to get every hole. But the deal is you're not going to get every hole. But how many holes you have to get in order to win is usually a pretty small number. This last tournament, four holes, and hole number 8 really could be, depending on your level of clubs, could be a standardized hole where you just go there and get your eagle and move on. I was hoping that that's what it was going to be for me last week, but I had problems with that hole. I would have gone all the way out to the end and did a max overpower hook shot and tried to put myself in the fairway so that I could at least give myself a shot to get back into it. It's not that you can't make it from the sand there. It's this, if you don't have to make it from the sand, why? Hitting it perfect. Putting pressure on my opponent. Just laying it up out in the fairway with a marlin ball, and look at them. They're scrambling all over the place. See if they can get this done with that. That Malibu's pretty accurate. With a 10-3 wind from this distance, it's going to be like 2.5 cups. 2.5 full widths of the cup. Doing the layup and winning. Good game. Let's see if they'll replay. No replay today. Let's open up that chest. Get it rolling. Getting some common. 17, 27, 37 common cards right there. It's awesome. So if you're playing Tour 6, you may have to win less than 10 a day, and you can get your 300 to recoup what you spend every day. With my low level account, my 99 account, I'm really going to stay down in Tour 4 and try and I've got like 5 commons that are already over like 500 on their way to 2000 to those cards being maxed out. Okay, it's 8-4. There's 5, 6, 7, 8, 4. I took the side wind out. Let's see if we can make that hook around that corner. I've taken that with an extra mile, but it's the first time with a QB. Right around the corner. If you make it to those shadows, it's too far. I'm just on the edge of being too far, so I'll have to curl it around. Marlin and a QB getting it done. What you do is you aim towards that tree right there, right towards the center of that tree. Take the wind out, no matter what direction it is, because what you're trying to do is get that, because that wind right there is pushing you farther out into this direction. So you want to get that side wind. In this case right here, we're fighting against a headwind, but we want to make sure our landing spot out there is right, and we don't want to let the wind push us off trajectory. Nice shot. And now my opponent's actually in a better spot. That's a well played. So they have a straight in shot at it. I've got to hook it around. So I'll have to do something. I don't think this ball has enough side spin on it to get me over there, so I'm going to have to do some curl. What I'm really looking for is this in spot here being even with the hole. I'm going to be right on the edge of the trees. Take the wind out. 2, 4, 6. It's 3 rings. It's actually a little shy of 3. I'm going to put some curl on it to bring it back to the hole. And walk it around those trees. Just a bit on the inside. A little too much curl, a little too much backspin. The deal is that my chances of making that, that's a backspin, side spin, curl shot to come into the hole around those trees is not that difficult of a shot, and it guarantees you to get on the green so that you have something really serious to look at for eagle. But your chances of holing that are, I'm not going to say 0, but they're 0 to none. Anything that went in would absolutely be pure luck. And you could shoot that same shot 200 more times and still not have that happen again. It's just one of those deals. But you can always get close. So if you're out here playing one-on-one and you're trying to always give yourself the opportunity to win out on the course, getting up on a hole like this and getting eagle is not a bad deal. In the hole. Because not everybody knows how to play this hole like my opponent. Most people come out here and they'll try something else. What scares me on a hole like this is that there are enough people now that know about that max overpower hook that they'll change the hole. They'll put a tree out there in the wrong spot, and we won't be able to do that anymore. They've done that on several holes that we used to be able to do max overpower hook shots on, and we can't do them anymore because they've put a tree out there in the middle of nowhere. You look on some of those old holes and you look off to the left or the right and you see a tree standing all by itself out there. It's because there was some shot. We don't have that shot anymore because they put that tree out there. So my opponent's in about mid, maybe towards minimum club. I don't know where their min is. They check their max. Now, one of the benefits here is that I have a Saturn, so if I'm in my long iron, I can go right at the green. I don't have to take these risky shots. Like these shots right here in a tournament, there may be some area down here that if you can hit onto that flat area and it's very little movement on the ball, it bounces over, funnels towards the cup, then that's the way to go. But in one-on-one play, the way to go is to get in front of your opponent. And if I do the same shot they did, then I take the risk of ending up in the sand. So the deal is you bring a club that's got some backspin, and you do max backspin, and you go right at it. 2, 4, 6, 8. That's about 8-2. Yeah, a little more. Hitting it perfect. Going right up to the cup. And avoid all that stuff. So if you bring clubs in your bag, if you're playing one-on-one, and you bring clubs in your bag, you bring a Guardian and you bring a Saturn. The Guardian you'll have to struggle a little bit while you're out on the course, but once you get the shootouts, that will pay dividends. Because in shootouts, a lot of times your opponent's got a big dog or a sniper, and they've got those shots where they'll have to do the bounce over, and they take the risk of not getting the wind right and ending up in the brown stuff. And you can always go right at the cup. And even when they can go right at the cup, you can go right at it. It's very easy to get within 2 if you're carrying a Guardian in your bag. And on most shootout holes, if you can be within 2, you're sitting pretty good. Not all of them, but some of them, most of them. Now they changed this hole. You can actually get up to the green, and the green's a lot smaller than it used to be. But how it feeds through that trough right there is the same, but they have taken several trees out. So there is a shot through the trees. And that shot over on the right-hand side, I don't think that's really a shot. I've tried it, but it puts the sand, if you get in the optimal spot, you're dealing with the sand. You got to hit over that sand, and it's a real short shot. This is like playing back in the one bag day, and you go out and you decide you're going to play with your quarterback, because playing with your quarterback and learning how to play with some of your other clubs was a commitment. Hit it great to the right, which should have zero bearing on it going through this opening down here, because it's a 100% accurate club. It's one of the benefits of coming to this hole with a 100% accurate club. I see a lot of people play this hole in one-on-one and in tournament play with an extra mile, and I'm trying to figure out why. It's a real narrow little spot down there doing your bounce through. With a QB, you're 1 per ring, so you'd have to hit it 2 rings great to the left or the right in order to be out of that fairway. Whereas with your extra mile, you only have to hit it 1 ring great to the left or the right, and you can be in trouble. My opponent's got a Hornet, so this is in my opinion, the perfect club for this. Unless you got some really high level stuff. Okay, first thing first is, where am I at in my club? This Hornet hits 1.1, 1.9, 2.2 per ring. I'm in my claw, so it's 1.5. There's 3. This is 2.5. .5 per ring. So there's 5. There's 10. I come inside of that just a little. 3 3/4 rings. Hitting it perfect. Give myself a look at it. See if I had the distance right. It looked like I was going to be a little short. And it looks like I might have missed. If I was the right distance, I would have missed. I might have missed on the right-hand side. It was right there. I'm used to a Hornet. Hornet's got better ball guide. I usually only bring out that claw when I'm doing backspin shots because the ball guide's not quite as important when you're doing a max backspin shot. You can still see as many of the tails with it as you can with the a thorn. It's a draw. Dang it. I wanted to win that one out on the course, but I got their number on this. This is like one topspin. Yeah, I like to wedge my rings up. You can do this as a no move. You can leave it right where it's at. You can put on one and a sliver of topspin. Take out the wind out on 10%. So this is going to be 4 wind. You can leave it right where it's at. You don't even have to move it. Hitting it perfect. 1 and a sliver of topspin. And you get right up there by it. And that's a no move. I like to actually move it a little bit to the left so that the white rings are perfectly in the spot where the white ring's touching the rough over here and the white ring's touching the rough over here. And then put the 1 and a sliver topspin and then lean it just a little bit, just a little teeny bit of curl, just lean, like not pushing up against the nose, but like leaning in that direction. It looks like it's going to go, I don't know, this is a very hole-in-one-able hole. And when it comes up in tournament play, this is actually the direction that it's been going in the last few tournaments, is this exact direction right here. And so dialing it in, next tournament, if the wind's going in that direction, we should have some pretty good notes from previous tournaments, because I think the last 2 tournaments it's ran that direction. I wish they'd mix it up a little bit on these holes because you can start to over dial them in. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Look at that. See if they'll rematch. Come on, man. Come on. Game. Good game. All right, we're having a triple header here. We played somebody actually wanted to replay. And I only had 2 slots open, so if I win this time, it'll be a wasted chest. Where I'd really like to go is forward, but I don't have the club to get me to go forward, so I'll have to come over here. The thing I don't like about this side over here is that you're in your wood on the other side. I need to be about a ring and a half into power in order to get over there. It's a 5 wind. There's a 5. I'm going to put about a ring and a half, ring and 3/4 of power back into it. And hit it great to the right, which was not a good side to hit it great on. Really wanted to hit that perfect. But it might bleed out, and it did. Just enough. So if you have wind that you can use and you're out there, you can use the wind like that. So you can test to see how much wind you need. You only need a couple wind to go forward. Go down there and take the wind out, and then put in however much of that headwind you need to get you to the spot that you were aiming towards. Obviously, when you're hitting against headwind, it's a different story. So with headwind, if I have room, usually with headwind, I give myself enough room to go down there and set the shot up where I want and then go take the wind out, and I have enough room between up to my red line. If you're doing shots that already have overpower built into them and you're hitting against a headwind, it's not as big a deal. Sometimes I'll go down there and take the side wind out. They'll roll out in the fairway too. Awesome. Nice. Nice shot. Thing about over here is you do have a straight in wood shot. On the other side, you got to kind of negotiate that. It's 9-1. It's 5. It's 9-1, and I'm going to add about 5% on just because I think the wind's going to push it off. Hitting it perfect. We'll find out if it goes on the left-hand side of the cup. Then my adjustment was too much. It went to the right, so I could have taken out a little bit more. You get a nice look at it from down below. If you can get, there's a long iron shot that you can get from down there. But it's difficult to come at the hole from down below because you're engaging this rough. The last few times this has been in a tournament, I've taken that shot because it puts you in a long iron, and you do have a shot. You do have a shot with your wood over here as well. And the wood shot is a lot more wide open. You can actually funnel all the way to the cup. It is difficult with that rough. And there's definitely a wind adjustment if you come at it from the other way. I think there's like a 10% wind adjustment. You want to stay the hell away from that sand, I can tell you that. That sand's like a magnet over there. When you're coming at it from the other direction, especially at the very end, because at the very end you got to make it move to get around to the cup. And it's a difficult shot. I might actually start taking the lower shot there. The other way you can come at it is you can go into that, you can go to the right, and when you get out there, bring all your backspin stuff, and it'll be ball specific, like on where you're landing and where your red lines are at, but you can come at it with a Guardian and you can get in front of the sand and try and backspin it right to the cup. I have hit that several times. I think the very first time I ever got an Albie on this hole, that's how I did it. Eagle. Forcing a shootout. I'm not afraid of you. Team Toyota. Got some banners. This shootout right here, I have no idea. I'm going to have to relearn how to play this shootout. Because this hole has been completely redesigned. Okay, so I'm going to go with the transition of the white and clear, orange ring off. Let's put a little more adjustment on that. 4-3 with my Saturn. That's 4 right there. I gotta snap it. Hitting it perfect. One fluid motion. See if I got my speed right. Nope. It'll roll back down there to it, but my speed was definitely off. You did just like one more backspin, half a backspin. They've redesigned this whole, this is its third configuration, but I think in the first configuration, I think they made a change to it and then they redesigned it and then they redesigned it again. So this might be its fourth. It's got some similar features, this hillside. It used to be a lot bigger, and where we approached it, the sand was different. And there was a spot down there where you could wedge up in front of the sand. I had two different shots on it. One that wedged up in front of the sand, you'd be way up by the fringe. And the other one that was back by the sand, depending on which club you had. I had a lot of success on this hole in the first two configurations, but since they've done the redesigns, not so much. Still trying to figure it out. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Look at that. Good game. I didn't have a slot available to me anyway, so they got one. That was 2 out of 3. Ain't bad. All right, how much time have we played? 25 minutes. Let's open up a few chests here. I think we got time for maybe one more hole. One more T6. Just in case we might get some bonus action. Yes, sir. All right, here we go. T6. One more. Maybe they'll replay us and they'll give you some bonus. Teapot. Well, yeah. The Well Yeah clan. Kings of Golf kicked butt this tournament. Bunch. We had 89 people who 89 people in the clans, and of the 89, 70 made the weekend round. 35 from each clan. It's fantastic. That means that 35 in the of the 39 in the Kings of Golf 2 and 35 of the 49 and the Kings of Golf made it. It's a lot. I think there was 14 or 15 top 10 finishes in Kings of Golf 2. Outstanding scores. One of our players shot a 31. Yeah, sit down. Now it's a 31. Big winner of the week, Curtis. All right, I'm going to try a different shot here because the last time I was on this hole, because we have better clubs now than we had before, I want to try this shot and see if I can get up on that platform. Give myself a little room here to take out that wind. Yeah, there's 5. There's 9-1. I'm going to have to put a little bit of left-hand curl just to bring it back to the fairway. Hitting it 1 ring great to the right. See how close to the tip I can get out there. I needed to put some overpower on it with that headwind. Without that headwind, I think I could have got to the tip. And I'm just curious to see what the look looks like, because the way that I've always wanted to, like when I've tried to get out here in Epic Fail, the way I've always tried to come at this hole is to engage the top up here. So when people are short, like instead of hitting it up through this cliff face, bringing that sniper right now up here so that the sniper's on the same level as the green, and then using curl to bring it back over towards the hole. Because that club has tons of curl. That'll be nicely done. Nice. Well played. Well played, because this is a tough hole to get a birdie on. This is one of those par 4s that's tough. Tough to get a birdie on. I'm going to try and use all that wind. Hitting it perfect. See if I can get up there above those rocks and at least get on the same plane. Here we go. Excellent. Getting me back in the game. With a Marlin. Getting it done. Versus a Katana. If we can get to a shootout, I got a shot. I still got some work to get done, though. In the hole. God goes wild. Eagle on this hole is this is a tough hole to get an eagle on. There's a lot of people that epic fail on this hole. So if you come here and you got a way or figured out a way that you can get an eagle on a regular basis, this is a big hole. Wind is going to play a factor here. Hitting it perfect. Hitting the flagpole. In the hole. Crowd goes wild. Eagle, eagle. Going to a shootout. This shootout right here is definitely better with a Guardian. But because I have a sniper, I'm going to pay off this pad over here, and I'm definitely going to do a 10% wind adjustment. And being in between clubs right there. So if they didn't have the Goliath, they'd be at their red line right there. So it's one of the benefits of bringing a Goliath is a Goliath hits all the way to the bottom of wood. So the red line difference between your wood and your Goliath are like almost non-existent. The problem there is that any adjustment that you made, especially if you made a big adjustment, you may not be able to make that adjustment in the Goliath, or you may not be able to make that adjustment in the sniper. I'm going to take this shot, even though right now normally I would do this shot right here and just go at it and be in front of him, but I'll take this shot just to demo it for you. So because of the way that the wind's blowing, I want to be up as high as I can. I want to engage that sand as little as possible. Down right at it, 10%. That's going to be 9, 9, 2. There's 5, 6, 7, 8, and that's why I don't like messing around with that sand. Hitting it perfect, and I'm probably going to actually, I don't think I moved out enough. There we go. Just barely. That's the thing about going over there if you have high wind is you got to engage that sand, and that transitional lip, it's straight up and down on that sand, so the ball guide moves forward. And how many rings is that? You have no idea. So that's why if you're setting up shots, it's best to set up a shot so you don't have to maneuver over that sand. And when you do, that's when you bring out those low wind balls. All right, getting a hole in. Barely made that one. All right, that was some Tour 6 play. Thanks for watching.